Welcome back to Project XJ. Today's video is going to be rebuilding a double Cardan front drive shaft. I have a front drive shaft from a Cherokee that I'm going to be using in the rear, and I just got it, so I'm going to clean it up. Get all the dirt and rust and whatever off of there and make it pretty, and then I'm going to rebuild the double Cardan joint there on that end and put a new U-joint in on this side. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you don't separate the two ends. You want to mark the shaft here and here so they match up. You can put the splines back on the exact ones that they came off of, because it's been balanced. You can see the counterweight right there, and then over here. So you want to keep it in phase, so you don't want to change it or else it won't be balanced anymore. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so now I got it cleaned up pretty well. I could still go over it a little bit more, but got all the dirt and everything off of there, and then I'll just wipe it down with some brake cleaner before I paint it. But I'll probably take apart this joint before I do that. Alright, so now I've got it mostly cleaned up, and I need to take out the old U-joints here. And before I take anything apart, I marked where this splines go together, just on both sides. What I'm going to do is take the U-joints out and then clean up everything, and then take the shaft apart and paint it, and then put it back together with a new joint on this side and new U-joints. Make it almost brand new. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is get some needle nose pliers, and you just squeeze this and pull it out, and you might need a good screwdriver or some sort of prying tool to get it out of there. And mine are really stuck in there. I did hit them with some PV blaster to loosen everything up. So I'll go ahead and give it a little bit of hammer. The only thing you don't want to do is mess up the ear, so just be careful of that. Let me get a little screwdriver. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Try this one. There we go. And we'll just start on this side. And since I'm not going to reuse the U-joint, it's okay to hit the cap. So it doesn't really matter what you use. Just hit it a few times until you can get it to come out this side. Alright, so I just went and found an old socket that I can bang on, put it in here. Don't hit your finger. Okay, you can see it's starting to come through. The other side is flush now, but we got to keep going. Okay, so now that we have a little lip here, we can try probably some channel locks. Pretty stuck. We will try a little bit more. All right, there we go. You can see the needle bearings in there. See if we can get the cap off. There it goes. And here's the old U-joint. It's a greasable one. And it's not original. It looks like from a car parts store. Alright, so this is the wire brush I'm using to clean it off. Just works faster than doing it by hand and gets it pretty clean. So I'll go ahead and clean it up a little bit. Alright, so now you can see it's pretty clean. Just want it okay before you paint it, and I'll just shoot some degreaser on there and wipe it down with rag, paper towel, before I go ahead and paint it. Now we'll start on the other side. Start with the end here. You can see the difference between the two clips. This one, come over here. Alright, this one is for the non-greasable end joint, and this one is for the end cap has the grease zerk in it. So there are two different types there. Alright, after a lot of persuasion, I finally got that one to come out. See if I can get the other one out. It has to be angled up like this in order for it to come out, because this, which is attached to, is hitting on this side. Alright, so what I ended up having to do on this one is pound this one back up so that I could get the U-joint out, and then the centerpiece just falls right out. Alright, so there you have it. There's the piece. Just got to clean up the inside. So I assembled the drive shaft just like I took it apart, making sure to keep it in phase. So I marked it, you can see here, lines up with the little weight there. And the part numbers for the U-joints that I used, these are the Spicer 1310X non-greasable 1310 U-joints. And then the centering yoke I have right here is the greasable one. They make two. One is greasable, one is non-greasable. And I talked to a guy at a drive shaft shop, and he said the greasable centering yoke is the one that you want with the non-greasable U-joints. So when assembling this, these copper snap rings are the thinnest and should be what come in the factory drive shaft. So that's why I went with those. It also comes with green and a brown, I think it is. And you can look up what thicknesses those are. But what you want to make sure is that if you put a copper one on this side, you also have one on the other side. So you don't want to have one color here and another color here. You want to make sure that they match. So also, this thing was so stuck on there before, but I got it to come off and cleaned it up, cleaned up the splines, and now it moves really easily. So for me, I'm going to use this as a rear drive shaft. So this will attach to the yoke that's on the transfer case. So I have it right here. This is an MP231 with a slip yoke eliminator. So it replaces the slip yoke that was right here with a fixed yoke. And so the drive shaft attaches to the fixed yoke right here. And then the slip yoke is in the drive shaft. And this slip yoke eliminator kit, the shaft that it uses that goes in the transfer case is much thicker. The stock one necks down where the speedometer sensor is right here, and the new one is just straight. I'll put in a picture so you can see the difference. And then this side will attach to, I have a flange adapter, but it if you have a stock axle, it'll attach to the yoke with the straps. And I have the tape on there just to hold the end caps on, the bearing caps, so that I don't lose them and lose the needle bearings. Website I got these parts from didn't have the Spicer, didn't have enough Spicer U-joints, so I went ahead and got a replacement one. It's just a spare. It's a Nyapco, and there's the part number. It's sealed, so I like it that it won't, the caps won't come off or anything. It's inside of its own little like shrink wrap. So I'll open it up so you can see. This one just comes with one set of snap rings in there. They're just 4, and they appear to be the black. So yeah, every manufacturer is going to come with different things, and the Spicer comes with multiple snap rings, and this Nyapco one just comes with one. But I've heard good things about Nyapco, and I got free shipping with the kit to rebuild the drive shaft. So it was actually cheaper to get this because it made it have free shipping. And I'll leave a link below in the description to the website I used and all the part numbers that you need. So here you can see the two shafts. The shaft on the left is the one that comes with the slip yoke eliminator kit, and the one on the right is the stock shaft. You can see how the stock shaft necks down where the speedometer gear goes, and you can also see that the other shaft is quite a bit shorter than the other. The shaft that comes with the slip yoke eliminator kit is much stronger than the stock one. Here's a before and after shot of the drive shaft, and you can see it looks much better, but more importantly, it won't rust, and hopefully it'll last a long time. Alright, so here's the final product. The reason why I got a front drive shaft was I got a slip yoke eliminator for the rear for an NP231 transfer case, and the stock has a slip yoke on the transfer case. So I went to a junkyard, got a cheap front drive shaft out of a 92 Cherokee and rebuilt it to use in the rear. So the total cost for the drive shaft was $110. The rebuild kit was about $90, and I paid $20 for the shaft itself. If you went to a drive shaft shop, they quoted me $420 for a shaft. And if you go online and find one, they're about $320 up to maybe $420. So this was a much cheaper option, and the length is 32 inches. I measured my front drive shaft at 32 inches, so I know that this drive shaft will work for what I need. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe.